Team Abu Dhabi are set to lock horns in match number 2 of the T10 League 2021-2022 on Friday, November 19th. The match will take place at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. Team Abu Dhabi are yet to make a mark in the championship in the 4 seasons so far. This time around, they have been strengthened by some of the most prolific T20 cricketers from around the world, including Chris Gayle and Philip Salt, who are most likely to open the innings for them in the event on Friday. The Bangla Tigers, on the other hand, they'll be led by Faf du Plessis, of course, familiar to St. Lucia Kings fans, and he was in really good touch while playing for the Chennai Super Kings in the Indian Premier League. Not so good was playing for the St. Lucia Kings, unfortunately. 32-year-old St. Lucian opening batsman Johnson Charles, he remains one of the most powerful hitters in world cricket at the present point in time, and a lot will be expected of him. Andre Fletcher, also someone who can take the best of bowling attacks to the cleaners. Should be a really interesting game, but the Tigers have a powerful batting unit with a blend of youth and experience in their ranks, and it won't be a surprise at all if the Tigers and, of course, Johnson Charles start their campaign on a winning note. That's it for us this evening on NBC Sports. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow evening with another program. Until then, do stay safe.
You're watching MBC.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of the program, Can I Help You? I'm your host, Richard Frederick. I want to say a special good night and thank you to the duo, Charmaine and Tim. You know, Charmaine, you have been doing an amazing job. Tim, my repertoire does not permit me to find a word to describe how good you have been doing. But the two of you have held the fort very, very well. You will continue along that vein until I can make my appearance off and on. So once again, good night to both Charmaine and Tim, and thanks for holding the fort. Miss Jackie Sidoni, good night, Miss Sidoni, Miss CDC and Jackie, good night to you guys. I know you guys are watching. Gaffel in Mondido, good night to you, Master Wong. Gaffel, your mother, Juliana. Of course, the man Pryor. Pryor, good night to you. I know you are locked on. Elizabeth Charles and all the Can I Help You members of that class. Lucy, Don McDonald, Val, Albert Fridges, Pinky, and all the others, good night, good night. Marie Frederick, good night to you. Good night to my sisters. Sophia, I know you're locked on. Frances in New York. Lydia, good night to you. Bia in New York as well, good night to you. Sylvia and all the others, good night. I'm loaded, so I need to start offloading right away. You know, folks, Dudley, Uncle, good night, Dudley. Good night, Dudley. You know, folks, some people have no shame. Some people have no shame at all. And you know, if you're ugly, you know, and you want no one to talk about your ugliness, do not describe another looks, how another one looks. Don't do it. You know, if you know your head is hard. You are go-go. Don't talk about another one's intelligence or lack thereof. You see, the reality is one puts himself or herself under the microscope in any given respect when he or she criticizes another in that respect. And I'm sure we are all aware of the old saying, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Folks, today marks exactly 105 days since we assumed office as a government. We took the oath, if you can recall, on August 5th this year. As is customary, the government released a series of benefits bestowed upon the people of this country, enveloped in what we have done in the first 100 days as a government. Of course, the Prime Minister posted some of the achievements on his page. Folks, I read some of the comments and they left me in awe. Simply unbelievable. I saw a comment, and as anticipated, it was removed. It was removed, but not before I took a screenshot of it. I took a screenshot of it because you all know me. I like to substantiate whatever I say. And let me show you the comments that I saw and responded to under the Prime Minister's post. Could you show them the comment, please? Only you and your friends have benefited, not St. Lucians. Only you, Albert Celestin, only you and your friends have benefited, not St. Lucians. Folks, can you imagine that a St. Lucian have the guts, the audacity to open his mouth and to tell this Prime Minister that it's only his friends that have benefited and not St. Lucians? You know, some people have no difficulty in showing how much of a house slave they are, in showing how they lack an ounce of objectivity, no sense of what is truly a disguise of reality. But guess what? They quickly compromise their integrity because they want to show party loyalty. When Albert Celestin can say that kind of foolishness, one has to inevitably deduce that he's a hack. You have to be a hack to say that the programs that this government that has been in office for less than 4 months, the programs that it has instituted, only friends that have benefited and not St. Lucians. Must be a flubbo hack, a blind hack, a vision impaired posterior kisser. You know, like the one whose political dreams were shattered. You all remember that? You know, folks, I'm saying this without fear of contradiction, that this government in 105 days have done more for the poorer people of this country than Shastne and his cabal did in the entire 5-year term. This government, in this short space of time, in less than 4 months, would have done more for the country than Shasney did in the entire 5 years. I want to ask the hack, when the government decided to pay facility fees for each and every secondary school student in this country, aren't the students St. Lucians? Aren't they? Are they friends and family of Philip J. Pierre? Wouldn't those children be offspring of persons who support both political parties? You know, the ignorance with which you have to deal is unbelievable. Ignorance, top shelf ignorance. When this government decided to give each and every first former a $500 bursary, were these students family or friends of Philip J. Pierre? You know, a hack with no sense of reasoning whatsoever. When the government decided to give reprieve to each and every tenant that had arrears, to tenants that occupy both the residential and commercial units of the CDCs, are they family to the Prime Minister? Are they, you idiot? Are they? Are those people not a combination of varying degrees of St. Lucians with support across the political divide? Aren't they? Wouldn't you find a mix of both Flabo and Labour benefiting? You see, it is those kind of asinine statements that you hear, and almost at some point you want to tell yourself, but yeah, pour qui ça ou fait mon katane beka ouais beka read kalde bêtise ça là. You know, only on Tuesday, in addition to that, I announced in Parliament that another 656 vendors, those operating from the craft market, those operating from the vendors market, both provision and craft, those operating at the arcade, those with the commercial units, those with the small vending huts, all of them got reprieve from the government of St. Lucia. Are they friends of Philip J. Pierre? Are they not St. Lucians? Between the reprieve of National Housing Corporation and Castries City Council for the arcade, government relieved St. Lucians of some $7.2 million. Why? Because St. Lucians had difficulty during the COVID pandemic in maneuvering financially. It wasn't a lot of them, maybe they just don't want to pay. There are those who are reluctant in paying. There are recalcitrant people. There are all sorts of people out there. But generally, COVID had caused a lot of our people not to be able to afford their rent. And that is a fact. So when the government grants reprieve across the board, how dare you say it is for your friends, not St. Lucians? And those benefits were given irrespective of political affiliation. Yet you have foolishness that those hacks spew. You know? You have foolishness. I want to give you all a few examples. Hacks. Albert, what's his name? Albert Celestin. And I'll expound on them after, because I will touch on my rebuttal on Shastney's shameless claim that this government ought not use, or is using, or wants to use the CIP funds as a slush fund. But we as St. Lucians never benefited from the 32 million to Lockerbie. We never benefited from the 32 million to range developers. We never benefited from the millions and millions of dollars in acquisition. We never benefited from the $13 million bypass road for Teoaking. We never benefited from another $11 million spent to facilitate land for Teoaking. We never benefited from the $13 million paid to Permandu. We never benefited from the $50 million paid to Ernst & Young. We never benefited from any of those. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Today this government has started on a footing that is in sync with its election mantra of putting people first. And you all hacks, not St. Lucians that benefit. You know, if you can't advance any potent argument, just press your mute button. Press your mute button. You know, my folks, for the last 8 years, from 2013, since Alan Shastney won the leadership of the United Workers' Party, I had never spoken to Shastney when he comes saying that, oh, he had asked me about visa. Nonsense. Nonsense. I had never spoken to that man. Never. I did not want to speak to him. From 2013, on this show, I mean, the show was way before, even before the last general elections. I still continued. But I made it abundantly clear, and I held steadfast to my belief that Shastney was not right to lead this country. And I made out a case for St. Lucians as to why they should stay away from this man. He got into government, and I did not fail to disclose many of his misdeeds. And every time I disclose something on this show, himself and his goons would call me a liar. Every time when I spoke of DSH and the agreement, oh, that's a fake document. Press release. Spoke of the $7.3 million for the medication. Fake. Press release. Everything I said then was fake. He had Nicole McDonald making a fool of herself. Poor girl. And I'm sure, with hindsight at her disposal, Nicole McDonald now regrets what the government was asking her to do, or having her to do. She did make a fool of herself. Poor girl. She always had to be mopping up after he spew his garbage. And yet, I used to lie and lie and lie all the time. After 8 years, you, Alan Michael Shastney, were presented with golden opportunities to put me right there to the challenge. You had that opportunity in our most august chamber not only for St. Lucians to hear, but for the world to hear. You could have put to me allegations that I am being untruthful. You could have questioned the veracity of everything I said. You could have called me a liar if you so wish. You could have challenged me to prove what I say. But rather than seizing on those opportunities, a man you say who has been lying for years, a man you say who has been releasing fake documents, you had the opportunity or opportunities to challenge me. What did you do? What did you do? You ran away. You ran away. Ukui. And you did not run away once. You ran away twice. You ran away twice, Shasney. And you know why he did that, folks? Shasney knew that I, Richard Frederick, was on standby. I was ready, and I am in a position to prove everything that I had said in the parliament. He knew that I had a document to prove all the assertions that I made. And had he challenged me, I would have made those documents documents of the House, which by now those documents would have been in public circulation. They would have been. So you know what Shasney do? Shasney said, "Uemwe masa au makapwesa." On both occasions, as I began, he walked out. Let us show St. Lucians of his two walkout. This is the first time, as I started to speak, we are barely wiping up. I was announced Shasney, and he's fiddling with his phone, you know. He's fiddling with his phone. Out. Then the second time. The second time, again. Out. Ipati chule de kwa. When he heard that I was about to start my delivery in either situation. I don't know if it's my red suit or my red jacket he was afraid of. I don't know. But Shasney ran away on both occasions. Mem nom la ukakuye mate. The same man you claim is a liar. The same man you claim releases fake documents. You had a golden opportunity to match me man on man, to question the integrity or the veracity of what I say. You failed to seize on those opportunities, but like a coward, you run. And when he ran, the compulsive, pathetic liar as he is, he will go on Newsmaker Live last night and say that he got a call. So Shasney got a call each time I started to make my contribution. He got a call on both occasions. And he got the call both times when I was about starting. And guess what? Guess what? Both calls lasted the same amount of time it took me to make my contribution. Because in both instances, as soon as your humble servant was through with his contribution, Shasney re-emerged. He entered the chamber once again. But I was waiting. I spoke about everything, and I had a pile of documents in my bag, just waiting. How did the rent increase from 42 to 72 million? Shasney Millie. I never rented from my father, Shasney Millie. Anything I said, I was prepared to put it in his face in substantiation. You see, a liar of the highest order is what Shasney is. And, you know, he's right, you know. He's right. Shasta is right to call some of the people of this country 43%ers. He's right. He's right. He's right. He called them 43%ers. He called them backing dogs. He called them mendicants. He was elected but stayed away for over 100 days. And yet, you pansati matelma, they come and embrace him when he decides to show up. When he decides to show up, they still embrace him. You know, I don't understand. Folks, we each, all of us, are entitled in our own individuality to support whoever we want to support. We support whoever we would like to support. But what I cannot understand, I cannot fathom, I cannot find justification in my mind or anywhere else, is why we as a people have so little appreciation for better standards. Why do we seemingly want to follow a man like Shastri because of colonial reasons? Why? Why do we accept mediocrity? Why? Why we do believe, why do we believe that because we love a party, we love the party so much that we will appreciate all sorts of stupidity? We mistake dictatorship with leadership, and we don't understand that we should be led and not ruled. We should be led and not ruled. Shasta opened his mouth, and can you imagine Shasta wants to advise Philip J.P.? You know, I'll put something to you, Shasta. The only discipline, if you want to call it that, which I believe is a moral ingenuity, is where you will beat Philip J.P. is in line. Ukai bat Philip J.P. amati. Uka fute 10 not amati. But you cannot come in this man's toes. You cannot come in his toes. And you want to advise Philip J.P. how to rule. Not to lead you. Not to lead. The man is telling Philip J.P., you must rule this country with a conscience. Philip J.P. does not rule, he leads. He is a servant leader. He's not a dictatorial leader like you. So he does not rule. He does not rule. He leads. He leads his people. That's what he does. Rule. You have a kingdom and you rule over the kingdom. Imagine, folks, the electorate gave Shastri a spur injury. A spur injury. In cockfighting terms, you may hear a man like Pryor say, that's so. Se muna bay Shastri yo kulzepo. Kulzepo la fe Shastri bazoudi. Après koui, le peut kulzepo sa. I koui tellement that il peut avoir 100 jours pour vivre one. Yes, Shastri bazoudi. I quitte one. Cool zepo Bazou dit tellement, il prend 100 jours pour vivre. After the man took that kind of beating and stays away for over 100 days, he returns here with utmost arrogance, extreme arrogance. It is his way or no way. His way or no way. Folks, just imagine the man came in on Monday afternoon. He came in on Monday afternoon. He meets the executive of Flabo on Monday night. He met them on Monday night. I am sure you will not want to believe that the man is meeting the executive after over 100 days of being absent. And the very first thing he would tell them that he needs to discuss is the expulsion of Stevenson King from the party. Nom la vini ek premier bagay ka di se muna and expel Stevenson King from party. Stevenson King expel Flabo depuis joie nou blue wave la. You know, you all did so badly at the recent polls. You decided to expel me. Something I never attempted in the slightest of ways to resist, because I could not rub shoulders with you, Alan Michael Chasney, politically. And I knew what a combination of you and Guy Joseph would do to this country. So I didn't want to stay around you. I didn't resist. But after staying in hibernation for such a long period, after the elections, you come, and the first thing on your agenda is expelling Stevenson King. I don't know, but something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. You expelled me, didn't you? What was the outcome of the last elections? Huh? But when he said that, one of the people told him, but Mr. Leader, expel Steve, you want to expel? I think he said something like, Steve expelled himself already. And there are more serious matters for discussion, not Stevenson King's expulsion. No. Landlord by ki pli sauye, put you by expel cautiously. So he was told that, because this man believes, folks, if it is not his way, it's the highway. Once you do not show support for his way of doing things, he wants you out completely. Once you tell him that, Mr. Leader, you are doing things wrong, he can expel you. He can expel you. But you know, the same way he likes to expel and fire people, the people of St. Lucia, the electorate on July 26th of this year, fired him as Prime Minister. And you know, folks, what is worst? This man is very, very, very disrespectful. You lose the elections. Go reinvent yourself. Go reinvent your party. You cause so many people to force themselves into political retirement. Spider, Gail, Ezekiel, you know, quite a few of them. You force them into political retirement. You come back, rather than reinventing the wheel, you are busy showing arrogance and disrespect to the people of this country. You know? And his disrespect, he even brought it into Parliament yesterday on Tuesday. While Stevenson King was speaking, folks, You know what this man did? This man literally gave Stephen King his back. He adopted a posture in Parliament that is relatively unseen. Show them how Shasney sat as Stephen King addressed. Look at Shasney, folks. Look at Shasney. We actually circled him in yellow. That is Shasney there. That is Shasney. That is him. Steve is on the floor. And he has turned his back to Stephen King. And you're telling me this man is not disrespectful? He's very disrespectful. Extremely disrespectful. Look at how the man sits in Parliament. You know? People from Tiroshe Miku, they so. When I say Tiroshe Miku, I mean that Tiroshe, not the one in Castries. Because Jean Miku, although you're pretty wise. You're pretty wise. Jean Tiroshe, Jean Dewiso. I want to say it in English and then address you in Patu. This man has no respect for you. None at all. He has no regard for your well-being. He is using you all as an instrument to gain popularity, prestige, and respect domestically and internationally. All he needs is the recognition to go to the Bahamas and say, I was ex-prime minister, I'm now leader of the opposition. He uses you for that purpose. He does not care about you all. You all voted for Shasney. It is almost 4 months now, and you have only seen him once. You have only seen him once. He came in on Monday afternoon, and guess what? He left today. Shasney left this afternoon on American Airlines. You think Shasney cares about you all? He got tweeted on Zanimo. Why mawe befu hodi aigneme uvie mawe befu? He does not care. Open your eyes and look reality in the face, and you will admit that Shasney does not care about you. You voted for a man to represent your interest. You voted for a man so that in the event you have difficulty, you encounter difficulty in this country, you can go to your rep and ask your rep to unblock roads that seemingly are blocked for you. In 4 months, you see him once. He spends only 2 full days in St. Lucia. He spent the whole day on Tuesday and the whole day on Wednesday. Only 2 full days. And he's out again. Is that the kind of representation that you want? Is that how you want Shasney to continue to use you? Open your eyes. Open your eyes. And you know what? Right now, all of you all will be bothering Gibo. All of you. Gibo, Gibo, Gibo. All of you will tell Gibo you all voted for him, although he didn't win the elections. Open your eyes, people from Tiroshe. Open your eyes, people from Deriso, Blancha, Agen. Agen will be doing something for you in the not too distant future. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, I called Gibo this afternoon, and we are going to start a rationalization and housing development there. Very soon, Gibo will be on the ground as Lucilec has gone there to give us costings as to how much it will cost basically to put electricity there. Gibo will be on the ground. Angers, nous kay fait by zot. Vitement, sa chasse n'est pas fait by zot un cycle année. How can you have a representative that is absent? How can you? Je voulais dire un patois. Je voulais dire un patois. Ces gens de sauter au chien, mais comme ça. Je vais dire comme ça. Chasse-les par des pièces ouest people. Pièces qualité. N'homme l'a pas mêlé. Qui manière ils ont qu'à vivre? Si y a un qui affecte les autres, c'est les affaires. Ça, il a fait. Il a servi les autres pour jouer une recognition ici avec Oliwolate. C'est ça qu'il a fait. Servi, il a servi les autres. Il n'a pas mêlé à les autres. Si vous mêlez à vous, nous avons représenté 4 mois, ou vous pour 2 jours et vous avez ou venez lundi après-midi, ou parti après-midi. American Airlines pas de gars qui étaient à terre, aujourd'hui. Il pas de gars qui étaient à terre. Zot quoi, Jean de Wissot, Jean Tirocher, Jean Blanchard, Jean Anger, zot quoi chasse les mêlés zot. Ouvrez yeux zot. Pas dire moi c'est kakakal bas qui est tête zot. Ouvrez yeux zot. Et gardez la vérité en fidja zot. Allez à miwea. Et demandez quoi cause question. Si un homme concerné about zot, son your problem. Il c'est représentative zot. C'est lui qui pour un nouveau pour ouvrir chimé by zot. Si chimé en bas oui. Mais non. Mais non. Il faut quitter les battre misère autres et qui aller. Ils voté par un homme pour représenter l'intérêt des autres. Pour si ils ont problèmes dans your district representative. En 4 mois, ils ont eu 2 fois. Ils ont eu 1 fois. Il fait 2 souhaits ici. 2 souhaits. Because vous savez que ça, madame Léa qui chlik yo pas de oui ça. Il fait 2 jours, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vivant. Zone vle chasse continuer service comme ça. Hein? Zone vle chasse continuer service comme ça. Et actuellement, zon tout kay di Gibo, zon vote ba li Gibo, vote ba ou. Gibo oui, moi vote ba. Oui, moi vote ba ou. Pati ka di moun ba Gibo, moi vote ba Gibo. Moi connaître vibe là, moi connaître li, oui. Tout le monde vote ba Gibo, mais il paraît. Paraît. Ouvrez les autres. Ouvrez les autres. Et pas quitter chasse des services autres pour bailler l'honneur cette ici avec l'autre pays. Ou pas un homme. C'est accordé ou à l'audience ou un avocat. Mais avocat pas jamais qu'à l'audience là. Qui m'a dit qu'il représente tout? Pas qu'il représente tout. Qu'il représente tout, mais il pas jamais là. Puis, vieux Kachili, et demandez cause en question. Because ça ce n'est qu'à faire, c'est servir. Il can servir. Now you know folks, Chasney looked me in the eye in the house on Tuesday. Yes man, he looked at me in the eye. And Chasney says to me, Richard, I love you. Or I still love you. I said, Chasney, you love me? And I told him quite blatantly, I could never, ever love him for what he has done to the poor people of this country. Told him so. Everything for the poor that benefited the poor before Shasney assumed office. He took them out, step, nice, everything. So I told him that. I told him, I can't love you. What you have done to our people, I could never love you. You expel me from your party because the party is yours. Expel me. And now you're telling me you love me. You know, folks, when Shasney said he loves me, Stevenson King, who was sitting to my right, he whispered some very unkind words which he wanted me to repeat to Shasney. I rather suspect. But I cannot repeat those words here. But Shasney is telling me he loves me. I can never love a man who shows no love to the people of our country, especially the poorer ones. No. No way. No way. Now, last night on his Newsmaker Live, juste vieux Shasney gagade vie. Chagwe pour voir. Ouais, c'est. Juste vieux gagade vie. But last night, folks, after he told lie after lie after lie, the man decided to sing that song, a song I have heard for the last 10 years. Visa. Visa. You know, he spoke about a letter written to my daughter and all sorts of foolishness. Alan Michael Shasney, I will say this to you. I am bold enough. Richard Frederick is bold enough to confront any allegation. Any. And I could take on an untruth head on. I've always said, if you do the crime, be prepared to do the time. But don't tell me you will convict me of an allegation about which I know nothing. So I'm bold enough to take it head on. I know all of the collusion, all of the collusion that was well put together before the elections. They came up with a dossier which they felt, oh, the embassy said this and my daughter wrote that. I know where everything came from and who did everything and who gave who what and who called who and everything. I told Angel Brett. But guess what? They felt it would have led to my political demise. I told Angel Brett, who I confide in, and she was my campaign manager. I told her I know exactly who's involved in what they do and what they say and what they put out. I know exactly who was involved. You know, folks, as I said in a ceremony today, no matter how hard, and I want you to listen to this well, no matter how hard your enemies try to destroy you, no matter how assiduous the efforts are to derail you, God's plans for you will always dominate theirs. I'll say this again. No matter how hard your enemies try to destroy you, no matter how hard they try, no matter how assiduous their efforts are in attempting to derail your life, their plans are secondary to God's plans. Because what God has planned for you, they can try and try and try. God's plans will roll full steam ahead, and they will stay with their mouths wide open. So you don't have to worry. You sit back and you relax, and you let God's desires take priority over the desires of enmity. I ran without a visa, Shasne, in 2011. I did not run independent, you know. I did not run for labor, you know. I ran for the United Workers' Party in 2011 without a visa. And your humble servant won. I won. And that was 10 years ago, Shasti. That was 10 years ago. I won for you all. And now you have a problem with me, which is the very same situation I presented to the electorate back in 2011, with which you had no problem, and I want a seat for the United Workers' Party, because the records will reflect that in 2011, the United Workers' Party won 6 seats, and your humble servant was one of them. So stop with the hypocrisy. Stop with it. Now if, Shasni, I gave your incumbent Sarah Flood, who was in government, she wasn't a senator, you know, she was elected. If I gave your incumbent such a beating without a visa, far less if I had one. Without a visa, I sent Sarah Flood into political retirement. Far less. And I want to ask you that. I know you are not a not too bright prime minister, or you were not a not too bright prime minister. You are an unintelligent human being. You are very unintelligent. And I'll show you how you're unintelligent in a while. Shasne, I want to ask you, tell me, since when does anyone need a visa to be of service to his people? Since when a man needs a visa or a woman to be of service to his country? Tell me. Tell me. Did I need a visa to do swearing the councillors and to give the rent reprieve and to do what I'm doing? Did I need a visa for that, Shasne? You unadulterated fool. You see, although you call them backing dogs and stupid and mendicants and all kind of things, 43%ers, the electorate, the people of this country are not as foolish as you think they are. They're not. They're not. You know, they're not as foolish as you think they are. You are the unintelligent one. You came to the house for the first time since the general elections, and take a listen to yourself.
Funds from politicians. We just passed a bill on laundry monitoring, in which we're funds from politicians. We just passed a bill on laundry monitoring, in which we're funds from politicians. We just passed a bill on laundry monitoring.
Why? Kisa. Hello, Shiriz. Kisa Shasne te ganila. Dis-moi, où savent? Où savent? Zot kasi bote. Dis-moi. Ebe. Ebe. Ebe ba. And mind you folks, Mind you, folks, Chef Orlando, good night to you. Chef Orlando. Fabian, I can't listen to the voice note now. I'm using the same phone. You know, it is the same man who said that Philip J. Pierre has no pedigree. He said Philip J. Pierre has no pedigree to become prime minister. That is the same man who told Wayne Girard that he has no pedigree. Where are Philip J. Pierre and Wayne Girard now? One is prime minister and the other is in government. Where are you? You out of government. Folks, we'll go for our first break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete, so fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes, and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Nestled in the quiet northern neighborhood of Larry Twet is a housing development designed specifically for homeowners looking for that ideal location, the epitome of serenity, a retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday living. Our homes cater to the specific needs of you, the modern homeowner: style, comfort, space, and above all, privacy. Want to experience scenic, breathtaking mountain views, postcard garden sunsets, balconies overlooking well-manicured gardens, and large yard and parking space? Visit us today.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
Enhance can be purchased at Citygate Bar, the CDC opposite the market, Dexter's Car Wash on Chaussee Road, Plants Place on the Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket in Soufriere, the Release Stress Bar on the Labrie Highway, and Cool Joint Bar in Victoria, Choiseul.
You can get your Enhance at Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Gurzile Bus Stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Gurzile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
You know, folks, sometimes from near and far, you listen to people. Today, someone sent me a recording from London. Put up this guy's picture for me, Clinton Marcel. The picture I sent you. Somebody called me from London, and I got a recording of this man, Clinton Marcel of Cool Vibes Radio. And he went on to say quite a bit of derogatory things about me. Derogatory, defamatory. I want to let him know, Clinton, I want to let you know that I have at least one recording of yours. And you must understand that the laws of social media can find you anywhere you are. If you want to continue to be on radio, just be careful. That's what I ask you to do. But I got the recording. You can put it down. All right, folks, let me say good night to Makafa in Banan. Good night, Makafa. Bolo. Tiwai Tapua, Boswe, Brenda John in the US, good night. All right, my sister Lydia, good night to you. And okay. You know, sometimes I feel if my sister was next to me, she would be spanking me every minute of the day. Thank God we have to socially distance ourselves. Frances, Rob, and Mr. Sugar, good night to you. Zanig Millet, good night. Nigel Sinclair, good night to you. Rufus, and Beverly Andre, a special good night. I want to extend condolences to Beckley Alexander in New York. Imagine Beckley called me some time ago. They had a fundraiser for St. Lucian's, and she has prepared, in fact, they have prepared quite a number of hampers to be distributed right here in St. Lucia just before Christmas. That will be done at the Castries City Council's Hall. Sadly, her brother died in a motorcycle accident here a couple of days ago, a 35-year-old brother. So we're extending our condolences to you. Ian and Jetwin, good night to you. Good night to Miss Pinky Payne, supervisor, caretaker program. What is it? Caregivers, starting December 1st. So yes, folks. Philip J. Pierre had no pedigree. Wayne Girard had no pedigree. But today, they both are out of government. They both, are in government, whilst the man who claims they have no pedigree is out. Now, why did they vote Shasti out? Well, they voted him out for a number of reasons. They voted him out because he was not running the business of this country in the best interest of St. Lucians. And that is why he was voted out. He was voted out because he did nothing to assist the poor people of this country. But I'll tell you why this government, led by Philip Joseph Pierre, will continue to remain in government. Will continue to remain in government. In 100 days, this government spent $2.6 million in facility fees for 24,000 students. Are you all hearing this? 24,000 students, $7.2 million in rent reprieve, $1.8 million in educational assistance for over 2,500 households. Paid that bursary, the $500 bursary, for 2,224 Form 1 students. 2,224 Form 1 students. This government has completed everything and will roll out communications bundles to over 5,000 homes. We have provided Wi-Fi devices for over 1,200 families. We have secured over 4,000 laptops, soon to be given away. The government allocated $10.8 million in housing assistance. 49 new special police constables have been hired. Right now, there is free medical examination for every worker at the Castries City Council. We have secured over 30 oxygen concentrators to help us with the COVID situation. We have deployed mobile vaccination. We have acquired a new mobile and X-ray machine. A new machine. Whilst Shasta engaged in his largesse, the X-ray machine was not operational. Nous rachetions neuf. We provided mobile phones to all staff at the respiratory hospital and installed Wi-Fi in there. When people are lonely, when they are in that kind of discomfort, when they cannot be surrounded by the family, not even a phone call those people could have made, this government has installed a Wi-Fi system in there. And Shasney, guess what we did in the first 100 days? We appointed a deputy speaker, Shasney. We appointed a deputy speaker, something you refused to do for the entirety of your 5-year term, because you felt that you could have interpreted the law in any manner that you want. And so you moved away from convention, you moved away from what normally obtained, and refused to appoint a deputy speaker. We have appointed one, Shasney. We have done so much as a government, folks, that Basically, when I took the list, I said, Lord, I can't go through with all of that. Because this show wouldn't be enough. This show would not be enough. But yet, this man would open his mouth and say that we have done nothing for this country. This man will open his mouth and tell people, what have they done? What have they done? They've done nothing. They've done nothing. And you know what hurt me yesterday, on Tuesday? It is the same kind of legislation that was subjected to different interpretations that we were seeking to correct. We were seeking to correct yesterday a piece of law that could have been interpreted in more than one way. Just like in the Constitution, it says as soon as it is convenient. And notwithstanding, there is a barrage of case law that speaks to the interpretation of what is when it is convenient. Shasney Steele said it wasn't convenient to him at all in 5 years. So it is that kind of ambiguity, that we so desperately wanted to cure. And we came into the House to seek an amendment to the Economic Fund Act. And I'll tell you what prompted this. Is the same ambiguity. Ernest has already disclosed. I probably wouldn't. I would have acted, but I guess people handle things differently. But Ernest was right. He disclosed that essentially the Prime Minister had written to the board asking for a $4 million rollout to do a cleanup of the country by the people of the country, for the people of the country. And the board refused, claiming that they considered it a recurrent expenditure or whatever. They relied on the very words, the 6 words that we sought to remove. But I'll tell you this, in my view, this was blatant disrespect. That's my view. Blatant disrespect. And Shasney, the dictator, would have never been treated or been responded to in that very manner that they responded to the current Prime Minister. You know why? Because upon examination of the very board's approvals, herein lies a situation where approval was given to a similar purpose when an application was made by Shasney and his cabinet. So folks, the cabinet of ministers decided to nullify or to prevent, to make obsolete the possibility of a recurrence of that kind of attitude. We decided to amend the law. And here comes the man. Here comes the ex-prime minister. Here comes the ex-minister of finance. Here comes this man with no shame. A man who used the consolidated fund as a slush fund. a man who believed that he could have done whatever he wanted with monies that found itself in the coffers of government. Now, he has the guts to talk about slush fund. Shaste unichewi. Unichewi. You know, folks, this man last night also said, and again, that is the kind of dictatorial style that he has. Philip J. Pierre, you owe the country an explanation. You owe the country an explanation because you have Richard Frederick in your cabinet. Shasney, as I told reporters today, you need to wheel and come again. You owe the country an explanation, Shasney. You owe them an explanation as to how under your watch, under your stewardship, this country witnessed the most corrupt government we have ever had in the history of governance of this beautiful island of ours. Explain that to us, Shasney. Explain how under your stewardship our corrupt index rose and rose and rose to unprecedented levels that made your government, the outgone government, the most corrupt government ever in the history of this country. Explain that, Shasney. That is what you need to explain. And you see, had you said that in the House, I would have said that, and I would have had the statistics. And you know I have the statistics. I've shown it. I've shown it that the corruption index has risen to its highest height under the last administration, making them the most corrupt government ever to govern St. Lucia. That is what you need to explain to the people of this country. That is what you need to Teacher Fifi, moi vlo aimutwe aimade Shasney, kimani aika explain sa. That is what you need to explain to the people of this country. What made you, your cabal as a government, what made you all the most corrupt government to ever govern this country? If you want explanations, explain that to us. Explain what you all were doing that caused you all to be the most corrupt government. And if you open your mouth, I coming back next week and I'm showing, but you know you have to hold back on things. I'm showing the index again, the statistics again. I'm showing the statistics again. You know? And it is that kind of corruption that caused the treasury to be used as a slush fund. That is the kind of corruption that caused the treasury to be used as a trust fund. And you know, folks, today the man has the guts, he has the audacity to speak about transparency and accountability. I was wondering if that was the same Michael Allen Shasney, whatever his name is. I was wondering whether that was the same Shasney. Because if Shasney had any shame, he would never ever be mentioning transparency and accountability. He would not. A man who at a summit of the Americas meeting basically said You know, don't let transparency get in the way when it's too onerous. Excuse me. Only today you are speaking of transparency. A man who signed an agreement with T.O. King, permitting him to sell our passports and deposit the monies into a foreign account to which we had no access. Today, he speaks of accountability and transparency. Can you believe this? And when I linked the agreement, he said, no, this is fake. Fake document, fake. Fake. Everything was fake. Transparency and accountability. That is the same Chasney who signed an agreement with range developers that he will give them the same CIP money. Même l'argent CIP, il can complain about that. He had promised it to another set of foreigners to build a hotel in the south. When he realized that everyone knew he needed parliamentary permission to spend that money, he went and he amended the law. And since he could not give it to Range, they had to settle for some $32 million. Where did it come from? The slush consolidated fund. And today, this same man who seemingly suffers from an extremely heavy bout of amnesia, speaks to accountability and transparency. Chastity, you have too much guts. Eh? You have too much guts, Kodisi Muna. For 5 years, Chastity, 5 years, you took the CIP monies and cannot tell St. Lucians what you did with it. And I challenged you in the house on Tuesday. I challenge your goons. I challenge your hacks. I challenge your supporters to show me one project. Just one. Just one. That you executed using CIP funds. Matively de, matively toi. Yon. And we know in Dominica what Skerrit is doing with CIP money. 4,000 homes, roads, hospitals, bridges, everything. And you are telling me your supporters cannot see those things? You are telling me party loyalty will blind me to such an extent that we cannot compare at all to Dominica? There is absolutely no comparison in terms of usage of the funds and impact on the people. And because I support Flabo, I am to turn a blind eye to this? Come on, people, man. Come on. Skerrit built 4,000 homes, you know. And he gave, and he's still building. He gave them away, you know. He said that basically, if we're already prostituting our sovereignty, our people have to benefit. It is not a program, like I said in the house on Tuesday, that any Caribbean leader likes. Basically, it's a tough decision. Ram said he's not going with it. It's a very tough decision because you are prostituting your sovereignty. But you want to bring a better life to your people, and the economic and financial environment is a very challenging one, difficult to maneuver, difficult to prioritize, resources are limited. So you try to assist your people. But you take our monies and give to everybody apart from St. Lucians. Apart from St. Lucians. And you're telling me that the hacks, the goons, the supporters are so blind that they cannot see. You know what, folks, that reminds me It's no wonder Ralph won the election, hands down again. He increased his majority. Nancy ka ale seve sa pour di y perle parti qui en opposition actuellement. Ka advise you, yeah, go if CIP, go if CIP, go if CIP. Go if CIP, what can you all show solutions that you all did with the CIP money? Show me one project. Is, you know, folks, facts are facts, eh? It is like during the campaign, and I still stand by it. I ask anyone to show me one project, only one, that Sarah Flood had executed in Castries Central during her 15-year representation of Castries Central. I asked for one. One. And no one can show me. Castries Central, let me tell you all this. And Nango, I'm announcing it tonight. We are already designing a community center for Georgeville and one for Mondido. Lakudu is coming for sure. Baccarat is coming for sure. Black Stars is coming for sure. Within this term, there will be another 5 new structures your humble servant must execute for the people of Castries Central. Sarah spent 15 years. Well, I have all over. The whole market I built in Jeremy Street, what's the name, Darling Road, Serenity, all over, all over. There isn't one structure, not one, Sarah can say, I built for the people of Castries Central. What she built, she took some 2x4 and she called it a car wash. And they left it in a state where it was already being put to different use. I will ensure that 2 responsible people will be handed, the car wash will be handed over to them. So, there are workers and workers, folks. There are workers and workers. Hayoshe Dinaibla. And it is the same way. It is an extension of that same thing with the government. That we cannot see. We cannot see one project. Not one project that the last government did with our CIP money. Now, Udesila, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm waiting for you with our CIP money to build houses for our people. You hear me? Good. You know, not one project. And you telling me because you support Chasne, you got 1 passport, zot, exot pani, you got I ka diti wakin pou la hag me lot pay. Exo ka proudly bla 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 daddy. Akodi say eslav ek yo e master you. I mean, come on. Come on. You know, come on. Where's our CIP money? Where is it? Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Kitts Nevis, everybody can see structures, developments, physical constructions, everything. There are things you can actually go into and say, yes, CIP money. Passively see. Nothing at all. And today, Shasne will open his mouth and say that St. Lucians must benefit from CIP. Shasne, only now you know St. Lucians must benefit. Only now you know that. Only now you remember St. Lucians. Folks, when you represent people, They should be on your mind. You may not be able to see everybody every month, every year, every 2 years, but the interest should always be on your mind. I could never forget, just before the elections, I had a meeting in Georgeville. Georgeville has a drain that I built, and the bottom is concrete. Folks, imagine, the drain had not seen anybody to clean it in a number of years, and that there was such a heavy accumulation of dirt in the bottom that there were trees taller than 10 feet tall growing in the drain that has a concrete bottom. And your humble, go to Georgeville now, your humble servant delivered it. And I promised them, like I promised Lakudu, I promised Baccarat, I promised Black Stars and Mondido. But I'm going to do Mondido and Georgeville first. I want them out of the way. The plans are being drawn. Hopefully Valdo, Clumsy, and all of you, Benoit, we should start a community center in Mondido very, very soon. Once the budget is gone, we are gone. And trust me, Mondido will have a community center with a view overlooking the Castries Harbor. We have to do things for our people. That's why they put us there. And somebody will tell me, you will vote for Sarah under the UWP. Why? Why will you? Why would you? Because you are a strong flambeau, a party that will do nothing to elevate your standard of living. Huh? I mean, unbelievable. L'argent CIP fait tout bagay tout partout, au lion la terre. C'est l'isillon qui paraît nan rien. All of a sudden, Shastney says, our CIP money must be used for the benefit of our people. You know, that's the kind of foolishness that he says, and we believe him. Look at things Shastney sent to us. Hotel there, hotel everywhere. No visa to the US, home porting in Vieux-Fort, hotel in Sabusha, hotel in Miku, you know, private jets in Vieux-Fort. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And that's the state we are today. Man going and acquire land left, right, and center for hotel, knowing full well all those lands will end up in private hands. Many of them. And now you have the guts to talk about transparency and accountability and slush fund. Civil servants always did their work. Ernst & Young. You know, somebody saying that they see Sanssouci and Lansford is not part of your... Some people, you know, anyway. I better don't answer to that, because, you know, it's like you want to, you have to enumerate everything you do. Like, where did I build Serenity Park? On top of Mondino. Where did I build Serenity Park? On top of Mondino. All the road by Jean-Marie going all the way in the south. Who did it? You know, sometimes you all say Angulungu fall. I mean, some people never cease to amaze me, you know. I have to laugh. You know, like Shastney, some of you all suffer from dementia. Amnesia, Alzheimer's, I don't know. But yes, slush fund, 50 million Ernst & Young, slush fund. We bought a building, paying interest at over $200,000 a month. We paid over $25 million in interest. Shasta sells it for $13.5 million, guarantees the people $52 million in rent or even more over a period, and then talk about accountability and transparency and slush fund. You know, took our rental from $32 million to $72 million, giving his father, his own father, a heavy slice of the pie. Yet, talk about slush fund accountability and transparency. You paid $7.3 million to a company because the guy was involved with cement importation with your brother-in-law. No experience in pharmaceutical supplies or procurement. When the guy finally gave us $2.6 million back, you saying we're lucky. You know, and then you talk about, you know, folks, I can go on and on, but you know what? Let's open the lines. Let's take some calls. 4533-911. That's our number, right? 4533-911 is our number. We have a call already. Good night. Can I help you? Good night. Can I help you?
Good night, Richard.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, give me some volume for me, please. Yes?
Yeah, Richard.
Hey.
I want to give the government a pass mark.
A pass mark?
For the first 100 days.
Thank you.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
For the time the Labour Party has been in government, you've not heard of any scandal with any minister.
You won't hear scandal, I don't think.
You haven't heard that. Now, that is a pass marker.
All right.
Because every week, people were hearing, especially with your show, what scandal was happening in government. Now, you all have stopped that. Yes. That is 150% pass mark.
All right.
Because when you have stability in government, no corruption, people is breathing a sigh of relief, that is a pass mark.
Thank you.
I mean, people were stifling before. Now, when you can breathe better, you breathe the oxygen, you throw out the carbon dioxide, you understand, you breathe better, that is a pass mark, big time. Now, the projects you all have started for the people of St. Lucia, that is important, you know.
Yeah.
The people, that is important. The people are benefiting from the resources of government. What is there? What St. Lucia gives, what we gather, what we collect, it is passed on to the people. So you all have passed, you know, I mean, that pass mark is way up there, man.
Thank you.
So the critics will run them off. Some people who are not getting what they used to get before, they will not be happy.
They don't believe in sharing, and that's the thing.
They will not be happy.
I've always said to people right now, it is time for St. Lucians.
That is it. That is it. People are benefiting. The single mothers, the mothers who have gone with the facility fees, the people sometimes when you drive and you walk through certain villages, you see the kind of houses people have to live in. You all are changing these people's lives. That is a pass mark. Yes. You understand? Yes. They will not talk about it because only a selected few could build mansions.
Yes.
You understand? But the ordinary person who needs it most is getting it. And I want to say one thing else to you.
Yes.
God put you all there. You said something about when people do whatever, but God is in charge. He is leading.
Yes. No matter
you all
did
how hard
not
your win government by chance.
To derail you, God's plans always take precedence.
God's plan was there.
Yes, man.
It was God's plan to have man like you Philippe J. Pierre, Ernest Hille, and the rest of cabinet and parliamentarians to take out St. Lucia out of the mess it found itself in. I want to say to you all, bravo, and continue to deliver for the people of St. Lucia. With that said, good night.
Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you much. I just want to keep on doing what I'm doing. I want to ensure that, you know, sometimes it's better to keep things because I've just disclosed what I want to do and somebody's telling me that is not in your, and this really, I'll put a 4-story building in the middle of Lance Road. I'll do that. I will do that. We have a call, but before I take that call, let me say good night to Brother Cyprian Lancico, the attaché to the man Wayne Girard. Cyprian, you're doing very well. Make sure you take care of the people. Canries, I told you all on that day that you all were sworn in, we will do a development in Canries. We will be in Belvedere, I can tell you, during next year, God willing. We are coming there to make land available for the people of Canries. Good night. Can I help you?
Yes, good evening, Consul.
Yay.
Yeah, I call to congratulate you on a very outstanding budget debate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very fascinating.
Thank you.
Yeah, he had to run away, but because he ran, because he could not stand the truth that was coming out. He could not bear it. So you have to run out. But there is some saying you can run, but you cannot hide. You run to the sea will be boiling when you run to the sea. Run to the rocks will be melting. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Yeah. Now, at the ending of your speech, when Dr. Hille came on, he felt sick or some kind of sickness was taking him. Because I heard the Speaker of the House, when Dr. Hille said that was addressing the CIP, he said that he called for a standing point, and he was saying that the projects that was used for the CIP and blah 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 was in the Gazette, it was in the budget. But Dr. Hille how do you say, demurred him. He lied because what he said, Dr. Hille said he went and checked on the projects and what he said if they were funded by CIP, and Dr. Hille found none of them were not founded by CIP. And
but you see,
to know where that money go.
The thing is, scholar,
million
the thing is, when Ernest challenged him, he said he got parliamentary permission because he put them in the.
He's guilty.
I mean, let me tell you, this man just believes all of us. We are stupid.
And Dr. Hille called him a coward after you finished spoken, and he came back and he said he never saw someone that was that coward. Yeah. People were making fun of him and laughing at him. Somebody asked Dr. Hille, can you take your jeep now? Dr. Hille said, no, he can't take my jeep now. So he's guilty as charged.
Yes, he is.
What they say against him, and the truth you were smoking there. And then I tell me false tricky, because he was saying something to the speaker told him, what do you say? Yes. Then he said something, and then he told the speaker said, are you ill? Like he was getting sick, and he could not take the truth that was coming out there. Anyway, good evening, great job. I'm very I have to say you were very brilliant, and you're always brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just continue the good work you're doing. And like a gentleman say, the government is on the ship is on the right course. But I add with a good crew and a good
captain,
a leader,
a good captain.
So thank you very much, and keep doing your good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on the next call. Lucky, good night.
Hi, good night, Richard. I just want to tell you thank you for being the voice. You have been the voice for the last 8 years.
Yes.
You have been the voice that whatever you have said for the last 8 years, you bring it in Parliament. It is, let me tell you, it equalizes to, information that St. Lucians have always. Listen to me. People respect you as an individual. People respect you because the information equalizes what it is now. Alan Shastney had to run. Alan Shastney couldn't even stay in the chambers to understand what Richard Frederick was doing.
I'm sure, Lucky, you've heard the old saying, if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen, you're going to get out.
That's correct. And tonight, somebody says the Marlboro thing, we all just laugh. Because, listen to me, this went so far. Marlboro.
It was just a brand of cigarettes.
You, as a friend and as a politician, you have enlightened solutions. Way back when to now.
Okay.
All I want to tell you is thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Luki. All right. Let's take the next call. Hello, good night. Can I help you?
Good night, Richard.
Okay, hold on for me 1 second, caller. I will not waste your credit, I promise you. Bob Mathre, you said something about...
Can you hear me?
Just hold on, caller. Hold on. I was just addressing something somebody asked. Bob Mathre, I want to address your point quickly before I forget. In fact, I'll do it after this call. Caller, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Good night, Richard.
Yeah, good night.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm there. He's not hearing me? Caller, you not hearing me?
Yes, can you hear me?
You hear me? Mr. Technician. Huh? Yeah, I was hearing him earlier.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, I could hear you now.
You're coming across low on your end.
Okay, I'm coming across low, technician. You heard me better now?
No.
He said the technician said it's probably your end, not ours, huh?
It sounds a little better.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay. I listened to the former Prime Minister on Timothy Polio's show last night. And
give him some volume for me, please.
At his disposal. It was really shocking to me. I can't be surprised if anything with this gentleman. With hindsight at his disposal, he was not sympathetic or even apologetic about any of his decisions, any of his actions.
You go see sympathy from him or hear an apology from him? Oh.
I was so taken aback when he mentioned the current government's actions in relation to the handling of the COVID breaches, basically. If one problem with the ticketing program, and basically, I guess he thought it better to make criminals out of solutions.
That is correct. That's why he had COVID wardens arresting solutions and fighting all over the place.
This man has a special judgment to.
Every day you will see a video where COVID warden was harassing somebody.
Listen, you have government goes through all measures to gain revenue, to run the affairs of the state. Even during the pandemic, government opened its doors to tourists from all over the world that was affected heavily by the pandemic, just to make money, right? But we had a government who were criminalizing business people for trying to make money, just to do the same thing that government is trying to do, right? Arresting business people for opening their businesses, right? How is it better than issuing a citation to a business owner? Issuing a citation is much better. You cannot criminalize someone for trying to earn a living. If the person wants to contest the citation, they contest it. If they don't, they pay it. It's just like a traffic ticket. You have wardens running behind people in castries, beating up people in castries. A female officer almost shot a man for not wearing a mask.
Yes, for not wearing a mask.
Right? And I am sure that this police officer is not happy with that action. You mean to tell me a man could have lost his life over not wearing a mask, and we have a former prime minister who would sit on a national show, international show, and will not be remorseful? Yes. Right? I want to commend the government for its first 100 days in office. Its actions are people-oriented and in the benefits of solutions.
Thank you.
One thing I want to say to the government, do not let its good for the 100 days be sidelined and be overshadowed by the handling of the COVID situation. Do not mandate vaccines for people. Let people make the informed choices. Tell businesses, do not fire our citizens for not wanting to take the vaccine. You understand me? The government remain neutral. When we voted for you, vaccinated, unvaccinated. We voted for you. We voted for you to represent us. Because these guys who were there were not representing us. Right? We want to say to the government, do not let all your good days be overshadowed by this one action, by forcing persons to take a vaccine that they do not want to take. Allow persons to make the choice. Tell the business owners, do not discriminate against our people. Everybody have a right to live and survive in this country. The crime rate is on the rise. Everything is out of control. Don't make the situation worse, right? Richard, I want to commend you on your work so far. Keep up the good job. All right? Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, you see, the vaccine thing is open to subject to different schools of thought. I am fully vaccinated. I've taken the booster as well, and I feel good about it. Those who figure they don't want to take it, you know, you just have to consider the pressure you might place on another. But again, the choice is yours. And if you look at the data, the science, you can be lured in one direction or the other, and that is what guided my choice. But to each his own. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you, caller. Yeah. Hello, good night. Can I help you?
Hello, good night, Mr. Frederick.
Good night.
Good job so far.
Thank you.
Yes, there's something I want you to do. Bring Mr. Famous on your show. He said he's going to be the first millionaire in his family.
Who's that?
And he's doing very well.
What's that?
Mr. So Famous. Bring him on your show when he next comes to St. Lucia, your nephew. St. Lucian. He said he's going to be the next millionaire in his family.
All right. Well, I guess he has aspirations.
He's doing great. He's doing very well. I follow him.
Yes. Some time ago, I'm calling the boy, and the boy is in Dubai.
Yes, he's traveling.
Oh, yeah, he's traveling the world. If the bitcoins, the values go up. You know, that is what our people need to learn. Our people need to get involved in what's around them, that assist them, that can elevate them. But, you know, we are busy, so busy trying to tear down each other that we don't make personal elevation our priorities. And that's the problem that we face. But I will accede to your request.
But let me give you the joke. He was born in America.
He was born in America. Yes, he was. He's American. All right?
I can't even hear you properly.
Okay, caller.
Yes.
We're trying to get a couple more calls before we leave here. Yes, she's talking about my nephew who was born in the U.S., who's, you know, an investor in the making. A young boy bought his bitcoins and value going up left, right, and center, traveling all over the place, Dubai and everywhere. I called my daughter some time ago. Where are you, Daddy? I'm in Dubai. Excuse me, the newly found gem, you know, That's where they all go. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night, good night.
Hey.
It's my first time calling here.
Okay.
So I'm calling tonight to tell you, Mr. Richard, you looked fabulous on Tuesday.
Thank you.
You look fabulous. I bet when Shasni saw you, he saw fire. That is why he could not stay on his seat when you were addressing him.
Okay.
That is why he could not talk to you. He could not stay there. He could not listen. His seat was too hot.
Yes. Yes.
Because you came with a purpose and you served it very well.
Thank you.
So I was for the first time, I watched the entire sitting of the parliament. Wow. I watched the entire thing. Wow. I stayed home. I did what I had to do and I watched everything.
How did you find it went?
Beg your pardon?
How did you find that the proceedings went?
Well, to me, it went very good. I was happy to see that. You know, he came in. First of all, let me say how amazed I was when I saw his supporters. I felt betrayed.
Yes.
Because knowing all what he did to our people,
exactly,
all how he managed our money,
exactly,
I felt betrayed. I saw like people who would actually bend down to someone who's not even in power like this. We want Shasni. We want Shasni. Didn't y'all recognize that election was over? You know. Whatever y'all will say right now will not change the fact that we have 5 years with the Labour Party. Yes. And it's not going to change.
And it wouldn't be 5 years alone, I can guarantee you that.
I believe so too. I believe so too. And the other thing that amazed me as well is the fact that Shasni was standing there and speaking all those lies. You know, if you're someone and your mind is shallow, you believe this man.
Well, you see, what Shasni actually does, he capitalizes on the ignorance of our people. That is what Shasni does.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. I was saying, like, if you do not know your rights, if you do not know what was going on, if you wasn't listening, you wasn't following, you would fall for anything this man says. And he says it with such conviction. Like, you know, he is sure of himself. He believes in his life. It amazed me. It amazed me to see that. And the fact that our people, a good part of our people, are not able to open their minds and open their eyes to see what is going on.
But look at that. Look at that caller. Elections were on the 26th of July. 26th of November would be 4 months. The Deriso people, Tiroshe people saw Shasni once. He came to St. Lucia, spent 2 full days and left. He will do that for 5 years and they'll still vote for him.
I don't believe so. I really don't believe so, because I don't believe that there have never been such a disrespectful person in politics in St. Lucia. I don't believe they will do that. This is the first time that we are seeing those kind of things, you know. Yes. I believe that at a certain point, enough will be enough.
I agree.
The people will not continue with those kind of things for 5 years. Don't you think they want representation, the right kind of representation?
Of course.
We could be as ignorant as we are. We could be as blindsided as we are. At a certain point, we must see reality. And trust me, they will see it.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Je diga, je rich exhort tout, ouvez yezot, ouvez yezot. Okay? Okay, we have a call. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night, Richard.
Yeah, good night.
I just want to congratulate you all on the good starting.
Yes.
How you have started, and I hope you will continue like that. And one thing I want to ask you all about, what about the Pajo letter? I'm not hearing nothing about it again.
No, it's not. You see, the thing is, those things have to go through a process.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure you heard the Prime Minister announce the appointment of a special prosecutor. We are not yet 4 months into office, and once things are done in the manner we are hoping them to be done, and in a timely manner as well, I believe we will have results for the electorate not too very long from now.
Okay.
All right?
But Richard, you know, last time I saw the ex-prime minister, and you know, the man really looks shaky, the man really mashed up, you know.
Yeah, he looks old, actually.
Yeah, the man, I saw the man who older than his father, you know. Yeah, I saw that. I said, wow, that election mashed up the man bad. I think it's best the people just let Shasta go on this and just, because if the man has to stay in that, I don't think the man will lose his health. The man not looking well. And even I saw Guy too. Guy lose a lot of weight, you know.
Think it easy. Shagwe pouvoir. It's not easy. It's not easy. And the reality is, I don't think that the United Workers' Party would be re-elected into office anytime soon.
What? I don't know, but you see, they have some party from trying their best for them. And they cry and they say, I not seen the ministers. They're not coming here and nothing. So how, and they're talking and they say they're not seeing ministers. No ministers not coming and check them, say nothing. And I heard them on the subsequent and them.
It's not 4 months yet. I don't know how much a minister can do within that period. I really don't know. Some of the people, their expectations are unreasonable. For example, people expect you to answer all calls. People expect you to respond to. When I wake up on a morning, I have hundreds of messages. I have hundreds of missed calls. And sometimes, even if I try to respond to the messages, I may end up another day without responding to the messages of the day before.
I know that.
And that's the I know that. And all of a sudden, they just have an impression, oh, I'm calling you, you're not answering me. You're not responding to me.
Yeah, I know that. I know. I tell them that.
I was in a meeting. Unfortunately, I try and stay away from my phone at those meetings, so I had to decline the call. Oh, I'm calling you now, you declining my call. And I'm saying, some of those people have no clue. As a minister of government, I decline your call. You should ask, is he in a meeting? But no, I calling you. So I'm in cabinet with our phones. I'm in a meeting with the Prime Minister, I'm in a meeting with officials, I'm in a meeting, and I'm supposed to take your call because, look, forget what you're doing and go and take my call. I mean, those things are unreasonable. I text you, you don't answer me. I'm waiting for it. Please, people, you all must understand the whole proliferation that comes only through one channel. It cannot come out in the same time, we're using the same amount of time. It is just that it has to take its place on the queue, and that's the reality. Election night, I had 3,000 or more WhatsApp messages. It took me about a week to clear. That is the truth. So people must be a little more understanding. But like you quite rightly said, I don't know what's wrong with Chaste, but I believe he has a problem. Okay. All right, that's it. Let me just take a call here. Hello.
Hi. Good night.
Good night, animator Cornelia Jacob. Good night to you.
Richard.
Yes.
I called you for two things. Say two things actually.
Yes.
But based on what you just said there a while ago, I have to tell you three things.
Yes.
So first and foremost, which was supposed to have not been part of the conversation, can I apply for the position of responding to all your calls?
Well, I'll tell you that would be 17 positions open for each minister. I can tell you that.
No. I now for true, but then after seeing you in that red suit, Richard, after seeing you in that red jacket, I working free. Richard,
Yes.
you were born with that red suit on.
If what?
You were born with that suit on, woman.
No, my sister bought it. Frances bought it in New York, and she sent it down for me.
Let me tell you, that is what that disturbed Shasney he could not stay, you know. Except that every time his quote-unquote phone call ended, he had to come back and look at the red jacket. So whether he walked away or he sat inside, he had to come back and look at the red jacket, and then you're disrespecting the man, having a blue wave talk to the man. Even though the man already discombobulated, look, you'll have him go and say, Mondry London.
What he said, Mondry? What he said? Mondry what?
Up to now, I cannot wrap my tongue, my brain, I can't wrap myself around it.
Mondry London.
But on a very serious note now, Richard.
Yes.
With all of the small flags that this government has planted in the last 100 days of governance, all of the good initiatives that will benefit the poor people or the locals, the countrymen, the country folk, those of us who have suffered for the last 5 years, all of these things are going to benefit us. Yes. But if you see the Labour Party, you know the thing that I appreciated the most from this government under this administration is that after all the persecution of Alan Chasney, of barriers and police preventing us, okay, especially those of us who have persisted in rights outside of Parliament, and we were persecuted by the police. We could not have stood on the opposite side of Parliament, even when what we sought to do was to enlighten our people on their rights. Okay? If all that was done was to restore democracy so that the flaggers would have stood there and backed the taboo, ride through with the yellow train to say hello to the man that didn't even acknowledge them. If all the Labour Party was able to have achieved in the first 100 days of governance was to allow that to happen, democracy was restored.
Yes, ma'am.
Democracy returned to this country, and that's all I want to see.
Thank you.
Red jacket, I want a red dress to match it.
Okay, thank you. You know, folks, this is so true, and you know, I didn't even remember that. You know, during the reign of Alan Chasney, St. Lucians were not permitted to go close to the House of Parliament. Claudius Francis made it abundantly clear that during his reign as Speaker of the House, no police officer will prevent St. Lucians from coming around Parliament. And as Cornelia quite rightfully said, if one thing happens, it appears that democracy has been restored in this country. We have another caller. I'll take the call now. Good night. Can I help you? Hello? We lost the call? No, we have another one. Yeah, good night. Can I help you?
Yes, sir. Good night.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good night. How are you?
I'm all right. Some volume, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Yes.
Okay. I want to start off by saying that St. Lucia has benefited more in the last 100 days than the last 5 years under Alan Chasney.
I believe so.
Never would we ever benefit the kind of way that we are benefiting from this government than we would have ever benefited under Alan Chasney.
That's correct.
So for that, I would like to commend you yourself for all your hard work.
Thank you.
And the Honorable Prime Minister Philip JP and your cabinet colleagues for putting us first as promised. And we look forward to more, to a continuation of the good things that have started. And it's really, I feel so good to be, I feel so proud to be a St. Lucian because we finally can at least breathe some fresh air, that we have a government who truly cares about the people.
Yes.
And we hope that people like Alan Shaston never, ever becomes Prime Minister of St. Lucia again. And yes, so I'd like to, Mr. Albert Celestine, I read his comment and I have to say that I'm very disgusted by comments like such.
Yeah, man.
Albert Celestine is a UWP hack from Derry, so one of the 43%ers. And you tell me big hat back like Albert Celestine. Albert Celestine denied the youth of Derry so the opportunity to make, well, they were making money to become a warden. Big hat back like Albert Celestine. Albert Celestine saw nothing better to do with himself than to rob the youth of an opportunity to become a warden. Albert Celestine was a warden. Albert Celestine take a fair minab. Albert Celestine, you are a hack. When you see the government is doing good for people like hacks like you all to benefit, because most of what they have done, both Labour and Labour have benefited from.
That is it. That is it.
Yes.
That is it.
Yes. So we've benefited, both sides of the political divide have benefited from what has happened, and I would like it to continue along that line. And also, we don't want to victimize people, but we need to send some people home, because really and truly, those people just have to go.
All right.
So, Philip JP, Honorable Prime Minister, thank you, and continue the good work that you've started.
Okay, caller. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't mind a man being a hack, you know. You support your party. It's when there is such a significant departure from reality. What you're doing is not for St. Lucians. How can you make a statement like that? Facilities fees for all secondary students is not St. Lucians? I mean, some people are just so unreasonable. They are ridiculous. They lack any ounce of analytical ability or objectivity, that they should just be placed in a corner as far as I'm concerned. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you? Hello?
Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night.
Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you,
yes,
but slightly low. Mr. Technician, does that have the problem? Give me a little volume, please.
Yes, I do that.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, thank you. The first thing I want to say, how Mr. Shafty could show him was when you have fools. I have to call him fool because...
Back where you fools, sir.
Hello?
I say don't call them fools.
Okay, well, he have no brains. The man is saying that Shafty was for the people, and he is, so far, that's his opinion, Shafty was one of the best prime ministers. He even wanted to put Compton after Shafty, which I find very ridiculous.
After Shafty?
Shafty haven't got an ounce of Compton in him.
Shafty has nothing that looks like
Compton. Of Compton. Nothing. And the man said that Shafty was one of the best prime ministers. Now, for my 70-something years, Mr. Richard, you mentioned it a while ago. For my 70-something years, I followed all election. I was in a position to do that. And that was the most corrupt government I ever see.
But it's not, no, now mind you, caller, not that you ever see, you know. The proof is there.
Yeah, it's there. Well,
I'm not saying it. The statistics show that the last government was the most corrupt we ever had.
Yes, I'm telling you. I'm in my mid-70s and I can tell you that. I've been following election. And the man is saying that's the best prime minister. I got sick when I heard that, you know.
Who said that? Who said that?
Somebody called and said that. One of the hacks. You know. Now, another thing, I heard Mr. Shafney on News Nicola last night, and that man is lying and lying and lying, and he's lying bold-faced, and if you don't know, you will believe him, you know.
Oh yes, man.
Now that money he took to pay for the vaccine, the $7.3 million, part of it has been paid. So they ask him when they're going to pay the rest. He has no clue, because we're not getting that money, you know, Mr. Richard.
We're not getting it?
We're not getting that money, you know.
I'll tell you this, my humble view was to arrest all of those involved.
Yeah, because I hold Chasney personally responsible for that money.
I am telling you, my view was to arrest all of them involved.
Yes.
Whoever signed the check, whoever signed the direct award, whoever signed this, whoever signed that, because that is blatant stealing from the country.
Yeah, the man making an excuse about how he want to involve Barbados in that. Barbados never pay a penny.
Barbados don't know anything about that.
No. He want to involve Barbados. The man when they ask him that question, and I find it strange they open the line. I find it strange Timothy allow callers because
Timothy asked some hard questions. The hacks even say Timothy turned against them.
Yeah. So I am saying, as a voter, I'm not a hack, but I'm saying that Chasney could never hold the rule of this
Prime Minister.
country again. Never. He's not a leader. He's a ruler. He could never rule this country again. I live to see that. He will never be Prime Minister or ruler of this country. Because he must not think that because his status in society that he have. The man is still talking as though he have some kind of authority, you know.
Yes.
The man gets me sick when I see him talking, you know.
Yes.
He gets me sick, and I know, you know, I don't know.
I'll tell you something, I'll tell you something. Some of those guys should find themselves no other place than at Bordelais.
Yeah, these guys should have some serious questions to answer, you know. Some serious questions, you know, to answer. Serious questions, and I'm looking forward for that, you know.
Okay.
It will take time, but I'm looking forward for that.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, caller. Have a good night. Yeah, I mean, you know, you go into the Bahamas in a tourism conference. As an ex-prime minister, we don't know about it. As ex-prime minister, we have a call. Good night. Can I help you? Hello?
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello, I'm hearing you.
Okay, I am calling with regards. Can I, is it an open forum where I can speak about anything?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I have been wanting to call you personally, Mr. Frederick, right? Since you're the Minister of Housing.
Yes.
Okay, my question to you before I continue, what are you doing, what are your plans with regards to selling land or the purchase of land for young people in St. Lucia?
Well, you see, there are 3 government departments that deal with land.
I didn't get that, huh?
There are 3 government departments that deal with land.
Right. And NHS Proud, and which other one is that?
Crown Lands.
Crown Lands, okay.
Yeah. Now, it's not what are you doing about land for young people. If you have a governmental policy to say develop this land for that set of people and government will shoulder the responsibility of developing the land, then you give the relevant agency the authority to execute that policy of government. Because you see, it is not only the availability of land. I'll tell you what makes land a little expensive. What makes land expensive is the cost of developing the land.
Right.
Because you can have, I've told people, land is like flour. The same flour you take and you would make bakes and sell the bake for 50 cents. It's the same flour that you use to make fruit cake and sell it for $5 and $10 a slice based on what you put in there. So what makes land kind of prohibitive is the cost of infrastructure. Now, once government policy is, look, let us in the budget put X amount of money to develop a parcel of land for the benefit of, let's say, civil servants. I'm being hypothetical here. And then government can say, as a policy, we are absorbing the cost. But unless it is from a government level, then one cannot single-handedly say, I am giving land to, it would have to be undeveloped land.
Okay, so what is in the, how does a young person purchase undeveloped land? Because land sells for like $20-something a square foot.
No,
I personally find that is just ridiculous.
No. Under Proud, I am sure if you go to Proud now, there are areas where you can still get land at good prices. Because
I have been to Proud. I have spoken to Proud many times, and the minimum I've gotten is $8 a square foot. And the places that they're saying that are available, the last time I spoke to somebody at Proud, I actually went to the office. They told me that some of the places they do not have a price on it, and the other places is not ready to sell, which they actually have a price. Is the $8, which would be the cheapest.
Yes, so you find $8 expensive. You find $8 expensive?
No, I don't find $8. I find $8 is reasonable.
Right.
However, but then there are barriers into purchasing it. Like they said, it's not ready to sell. They're still waiting for.
Okay, all right. I'll give you an example. The last administration had halted the development of a lot of areas that could have yielded many lots.
I'm fully aware of that.
Right, because I don't know what the last minister wanted to do.
I really do not know.
Right. I have disclosed and I've said it publicly that I've given the go-ahead. As a matter of fact, in the coming week, I may have to sign a direct award to give the surveyor the right to move in there to make land available for our people.
Please, we need, because I can tell you right now there are a lot of young people who need and who are looking, and they want avenues where they can get.
Now I'll tell you something, caller. It's a good thing you asked me about that. Because of the unavailability of land, I can safely say I believe I will be the first minister of housing that will be in a position to sell to our people at reasonable prices an apartment that you own with your deed of sale, and basically you will own it, you can mortgage it, you can sell it, you can will it, and it will be affordable to the average St. Lucian.
I look forward to that.
I can tell you that Millennium Highway will come in very soon. We will be coming there soon. I'm looking to, in one block, have about 50 apartments that our people can get a slice of St. Lucia and live in some of the good places at reasonable price.
Please, we need it. And I'm not just calling about the north. I'm calling specifically from the south.
Yes.
Because
it is imagine, caller. I have a concept of a drawing that's now been costed. You can take 1 acre of land, which is 43,000 square feet. If you subdivide that, you would not even get 8 lots out of it. Because 8 lots at 5,000 would be 40,000. You have to leave open space and road. So you probably get 7 lots in an acre. However, on that same acre, I could build an apartment building with 52 apartments from 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom, which will be affordable. I don't even want a 3 bedroom apartment to be sold for more than about $190,000. That is my aim, to give St. Lucians a slice of St. Lucia.
Yes, we do need a slice of St. Lucia, because you'll find that a lot of St. Lucians don't own a piece of St. Lucia. We have nothing to pass on to our children. As young people, we don't have anything for ourselves.
Rest assured, at the end of 5 years, judge this government, and you will see it was a government that truly cared about the people, and we will be putting people first.
I look forward to that.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, folks, we'll take our final call. I've gone an hour over. You know, we have a caller. Good night. Somebody asked, what is Mr. Frederick?
Good night, Principal.
Good night.
And let me say good night to the teachers.
Thank you. Good night. Good
and
night.
let me say good night to the class.
Good night, class.
My brother.
Hey.
Let me say a big God thank you for the people who voted the St. Lucia Labour Party in to save our country.
Yes, man.
You all and we all are blessed.
Yes, man.
But let me just say to our people, I have been monitoring the voice of the United Workers' Party. And it is a shame, and it will continue to be a shame. And I would like to encourage them to continue to bore holes and to continue to put them down into the pit. Because St. Lucians have taken the patience. We will continue to be patient, and we will continue to, those of us who defend the St. Lucia Labour Party will continue to defend the Labour Party. I want to say that I am waiting for the youth economy. I am hoping
Let me just say this. Folks, for those who don't know, the Prime Minister and the government of St. Lucia secured $5 million for the youth economy. I believe the official ceremony is on Monday. I think it's Monday, about 9 o'clock. So basically, the government is moving in the right direction. The Prime Minister and the Labour Party government had promised the youth economy. That already is on stream, and the handing over ceremony of the $5 million will be on Monday.
Yeah, let me say thank you in advance.
Yes, man.
And my brother, I just want to call on all of us who are under your ministry,
yes,
to do good as counselors,
yes,
to bring good personal comfort to the rest of St. Lucia.
Yes, indeed.
I want God to continue blessing you and the Parliament, the government, and I want to say to Mr. Shasney, welcome, but I'm going to tell you that it is not going to be easy for those of the United Workers' Party, people who believe that the St. Lucia Labour Party is not ready. I want to say to them, look forward. And we are already beginning to campaign for the next elections because our work, as I say to them, time will tell. My brother, have a blessed night. And class, let us continue supporting the future of our children. God bless, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. That was our last call. You know, folks, yes. I've always said I don't understand. I don't understand how an incumbent politician can lose his seat. I don't understand. To me, that should approximate an impossibility. I ran the 2006 elections and won. In 2011, on the heels of a general election, I lost both of my visas. I still won. Far less if I didn't lose my visas. Because I believe, and I told my Prime Minister that jokingly some time ago, I said, boss, by the time I finish 3 years, I go in and relax, and I'm falling asleep a month before elections, and you'll wake me up a month after to tell me the results. Because any politician who is worth a grain of salt, who agrees to deliver to his people, should not necessarily have any hard work to do as long as you met, partially or otherwise, the expectations of your people. And so I know by the time I finish my term, there will be at least 4 new structures that I want to put up in Castries Central. Somebody asked me about Sanssouci. One of the first things agenda, but our people, at the end of the day, when I know they will judge us favorably. I did not come here to say everything that I will do or can do. I understood that we've lost our sound a bit, so I'll take this mic and bring it a little closer. I was saying earlier that somebody had asked me about Sanssouci and Lance Road. I did not come here to say what I would do everywhere. Just how somebody asked me about Lastic Hill. And then another one will say, what about Rose Hill? And another one will say, what about over there? I didn't come to decide what I'm going to do everywhere, but I just mentioned, because Sarah spent 15 years as a district rep, and there is no door that one can open, unlock, and say, Sarah built this. None. And that is why I said I'm going to at least build 4 new structures. But Sanssouci, within the confines of Serenity Park, we will ensure that we will build an amphitheater. Now, hear the good news. Mark Heineckert has already designed the amphitheater. It has already been designed. So, folks, I do believe that right now it is St. Lucian's time. It is time for St. Lucian's to get a slice of St. Lucia. And whatever I can do to ensure that the mantra of putting people first is upheld and kept to the forefront of my mind, I will do. Because I do believe our greatest resource is our people. Having said that, folks, I just wish again to thank all those people around me, within my ministry, within the various boards, within the various departments and councils, who do whatever they do, whatever they have to do, to ensure that the government deliver on its mandate. Guess I will be seeing you guys probably in the next 3 weeks or thereabout. If anything deserves being explained, your humble servant will surely come to the table, come to the class to explain what my other staff members, I'll call them, probably can't, or don't. If they don't have the knowledge, then I can probably do it. So next week, Shamin and the team will be on. Richard Frederick will be on if and when I do think, you know, that I need to present myself in class. But rest assured, I will not remain any period of longevity in abeyance. I will be here off and on to ensure that we keep you informed as to what we are doing as a government for the people of this country. So folks, having said that, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one will curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. I'm Richard Frederick. I'm out of here. See you in a couple Thursdays, God willing. Good night.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete, so fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Nestled in the quiet northern neighborhood of Larry Twet is a housing development designed specifically for homeowners looking for that ideal location, the epitome of serenity, a retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday living. Our homes cater to the specific needs of you, the modern homeowner: style, comfort, space, and above all, privacy. Want to experience scenic, breathtaking mountain views, postcard garden sunsets, balconies overlooking well-manicured gardens, and large yard and parking space? Visit us today.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from